I wanted to ask you, like the first LaunchGood campaign, like, do you remember what it was? Like, how did you win these
Yeah.
guys over? What was it for?
Oh, that's a great story.
Good.
So I have a friend, also former engineer turned entrepreneur. Her name is Nadine Abu Jabra. And her whole thing is like she went through this personal journey where she lost hundreds of pounds. And so she started trying to like create this woman's fitness movement. And as a plan, her name, she called it Naduna. And she had this vision to start the first workout DVD that was modest and used hijabis instead of like girls in bikinis, right? And I was like, man, that would be great. Like, that'd be an awesome project to launch LaunchGood with. Except her co-founder was this tough New Yorker, Zainab Ismail. And, have you dealt with New Yorkers before?
Not much, only a few times.
Yeah. They're all business. It's like, why would I say hi to you, right? Like that type of mentality. So Zainab's like, well, I don't know Chris, and I'm not going to be their guinea pig. We're going to use Kickstarter. That's an established brand. We know it works.
Okay.
And I just could not convince her otherwise. But thankfully, I got a little help from Kickstarter for some reason, which I still don't understand till today. Kickstarter rejected their campaign.
Oh, wow.
So right as they're about to go live, Kickstarter rejected them. So they came to me in a panic because they had already like put all these marketing materials out that like, October 1st, we're launching, get ready, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
So they come to me, they're like, okay, Chris, we'll use you, but you got to be ready by October 1st. Can you do it? And honestly, it was too soon. Like we hadn't finished testing our website, but you know how as an entrepreneur, you fake it till you make it. You're just like, yeah, definitely. October 1st, no problem. Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
And, so, we launched with them, and actually everything was going pretty well, until the last day. So they had I remember their campaign, $15,000 or nothing. This is the example I was trying to give. And it was also Nadine's birthday. So like they were just a few thousand short of their goal. She's like, everyone on her birthday, please donate to my campaign. She hits $15,000, and then the problems begin. So first, like everyone got double charged for some reason.
Okay.
Like, okay, we can manage this. It wasn't too complicated. We could just go through and refund everybody one time. But it's tedious. So we're sitting there, me and my co-founder, Manny, and we're just like refund. And then we get another call. It's like, what the heck is wrong? It's counting down, right? And so that's the problem I told you. For some reason, there's this bug that like, someone donates $100, and instead of going to 15,100, we went to 14,900.
Wow.
So that, and they're like, oh, there's only a few hours left, and they're $100 short. So what did they do? They donate $100.
Yeah, again, yeah.
But instead of going to 14,800, so someone else comes along, they donate 200. So it kind of worked in their favor because they started getting like all these donations because everyone was worried they were short of their goal. But it was really impressive for us. Zainab was having none of it. Again, like being that tough New Yorker, she's had none of it. But alhamdulillah, like I was just with Zainab last week. We had this ice cream social in New York. We're super good friends. She's like one of the brand ambassadors for LaunchGood now, just like this incredible person. And that's kind of one of the funny things about LaunchGood is the people that we've had maybe the worst bugs with have become our closest friends because we'll be really like, listen, obviously we didn't intend this. We're really sorry. We want to make it up to you. We want to make it right. And we worked really hard with them to kind of fix their issues. And they saw that at the end of the day. So it's funny. I'm much older than my co-founder. I'm like, about 8 years older than Imani Klawe. So at the time she was, I want to say 20, probably 20 years old, and I was 28. So she's panicking, right? She's like, what the heck? Like, it's like she's never dealt with that type of adversity before as we're going through this. And at some point I just stop and I start laughing. I'm like, you know what? One day we're going to look back at this and we're going to laugh. Amazing. So we might as well laugh. It's okay. Like this is just going to become an iconic story for us, and it has.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. I love the fact that, in a way, you used vision in that moment to make the moment better and to carry on. Really amazing, mashallah. Because, a lot of people don't see it like that. They're in the pressure of the moment and they just feel like, oh my God, this is going terrible. And, especially when you've got someone like Zainab, like you mentioned, the pressure's even worse because you're thinking she's like that, right? As opposed to having someone who's very laid back and stuff. So, I think that's really, really amazing. I mean, I've got to say to you that
just to that point, I never thought of it that way, but it reminds me of the Prophet ﷺ in Khandaq.
Oh yeah.
So I like to share this story where, and you probably tell better than me, is like Khandaq, really, it was an existential crisis for the Muslims. It was like the largest army ever amassed in Arabia, surrounding Medina. There's no escape. And they're trying to build this trench, and they're so hungry, they're starving that they have to tie, the stones to their belly. And like in this moment, the Prophet ﷺ, was called over to strike a rock, a bowl that no one could break. And he strikes it 3 times, and with each time, a light shoots out. And the Sahaba can see the light, but they don't know what it means. And then the 4th time, it shatters. And the Prophet asked him, did you see the light? They said, yes. And he said, in the first light, and this is where I'll probably get it wrong, in the first light, I saw the empire of Persia. And I know that Allah's giving it to us. And the second light, I think, was Rome, and the third light was Yemen. Right? And so he's telling them, like, they're worried they're not even going to survive the night, maybe. And the Prophet's saying, no, you're not only going to survive, you're going to thrive. You're going to conquer all these lands around you. That's what's going to happen there. And then, just imagine, like, your small community, like a few thousand people on the brink of death. And it's like, no, you're going to be like the Google of your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even I don't even like to say Google. I was just trying to think of like some big analogy, but it's like it's the greatest mission in the world.
Yeah, and the timing of it, like you said, at that time you're just thinking, what, and that's the only time when iman and faith and belief and vision comes in. And if you're really sold on the vision, then it's like, yeah, inshallah, that will happen one day.